put your mask on first. I don't care how bad anxiety your child has. Your child got that anxiety from one of their parents. So go back to root causes, right? Figure out, what are you saying without knowing? You know, my new book is about racism. I talked about how to teach your children about racism. What are the things you're doing without even thinking about it? Like, you don't even know you're doing it, right? So this is, it's not a real copy, but it's just a fake copy. But this is what the book looks like, right?
Yes.
What are you doing in your home that is making your child go to school and bully other kids? Because a lot of times, like you said earlier, that comes from pain and trauma, right? It didn't just happen. Every baby was born weighing 6 pounds or 8 pounds or whatever, right? And they're all cute and cuddly, and then life happens to them. And so you need to know, as a parent, you have to be very intentional about what you're doing with yourself, what you're saying to yourself, how you treat you.
Yes.
Because the kids will treat you the way you treat you. You know, it's like, what do you call you versus what do you answer?
Look, and not just the kids, your significant other, your friends, you know?
Yes. And everybody has that friend. We all have that friend. Oh, that's a needy friend. Oh, that's the strong friend. What's the difference? The needy friend is used to you guys feeding and codependency thing, right?
Yes.
And this friend is like used to everybody going to her, but we all, that's person you think is strong, the day they kill themselves, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I just saw her last week. Was she really that strong, or was she putting on that
representative?
That mask, so that because nobody wants to ask for help. Oh my God, nobody wants to say, I'm weak, I don't get this, or no one wants to show that. They don't want to speak about that. And if you can't speak about it, we can't help you.
That's right. Yeah.
If you don't speak about it, you can't heal from it. I don't care the worst trauma in the world. And for the Christians out there, because there are lots and lots of Christians, and sometimes religion tends to put a weird cloud over it. Like, nobody's saying you shouldn't pray, but you can pray all you want. If you don't do the work, you can't. And so an example is this guy who's just, it's not real, who said, I want a job, God, please, I want a job, God, please send me a job, I need a job, God, please, every single day. And you know what God said to him? He said, have you applied?
Right.
Why don't you apply for the job? Why don't you apply for the job? I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, you might, it's an easy, soft thing, easy thing to explain, but it's real.
We have to do the work.
You gotta do the work.
If we want the result that we want, we have to put in the work.
Do you know what happened to me during this COVID-19? I lost 2 of my 3 sources of income.
Oh, wow.
And I was hit hard. And the one that I had remaining was like on one leg, right? Yeah, for 2 or 3 days, I was like, oh, after that, I had to, okay, what are we going to do?
Right.
And I launched 2 businesses, and both of them are doing well.
Look at that.
Because I was like, so I'm not going to be in here,
waiting for this to pass over. Exactly.
What else can I do? Because we don't know how long this is going to last.
We don't.
I was talking to someone yesterday. I said, I think honestly that God was like, time
to reroute.
Step in your plate.
Yeah.
Send down the plate. He said, send down the step. And you know what? Toss in some confusion about masks. No, just toss in some confusion. Confuse them.
Yeah.
Because there was just too much mess going on. Send down the plague. No, send down the plague. Because we have lost the human of the humanity.
We have. I agree.
And I know George Floyd was a very sad thing. And I haven't personally watched the video, but let me tell you something, sister. That happened for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
I was asking the other day, I said, when was the last time you heard a police brutality case? Like
before that one.
Yes,
absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm agreeing with that.
So does it mean that the police could have actually been treating us decently this whole time?
This has been going on. I'm so glad that the world slowed down enough so that everybody
saw that
what's been happening. It's been happening. I'm glad you pointed that out.
I had to, because I'm talking about racism in my book. Are you kidding me? I have to. You have to try to toss in everything as a teachable moment. And I know he has his wings. I know he's an angel. I know he's probably like smiling at me right now. He's like, well, girl, you don't even know me, but I know he's like, way to go. Why am I saying that? Because sometimes we need that rude awakening.
Yep.
So God tossed in the plague virus, and then he tossed in that act of murder.
Yep.
Not daylight.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, if you guys think you're gangster, I'm going to show you what's gangster. Right in front of daylight. Mm-hmm. And the whole world was like...
That's right. Finally, well, everybody's finally awake. But it took all of that, what you just said. Because if we were getting up, going to our 9 to 5s as usual, if we're in traffic, our heads in our cell phones, that news flash would have gone through completely unnoticed.
Yes.
Completely.
So I give thanks to George Floyd and his family, because I would have never written my book. This book was actually a blog that went viral, like 16,000 shares.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then somebody said, that will make a good book. I'm like, you know what? You're right. Here's the point I'm trying to make. In life, for the butterfly, before the butterfly becomes the free butterfly, what does he have to be?
The cocoon to the butterfly,
What is the cocoon? Is a place of rest and calm and thinking, and growth, and all that before you now unleash that beautiful, you know, if you plant your seeds, I have a garden. If you plant your seeds today, that seed must die for the new seed to germinate
and grow.
But do you recognize when your seed is dying and expecting yourself that, listen, the destination is really about the journey. Like once you get to, like once I finished writing this book, I was like, okay, what's next? Because I already wrote the book. But what I did was I tried to enjoy writing the book, and I shared the whole journey with Facebook or whatever. Just, oh guys, I'm writing a book. I'm on chapter this. I was just enjoying the journey because I know we're gonna get there. And if we're not careful, this virus will come and go, and many people will still be in that mindset.
So we have to keep them focused and awake and alert so they can retain the information that's so badly needed on a global scale.
And I think the short answer to what you said is, if I was going to use one word to describe what people should do, talk. T-A-L-K. Talk for me means T is tune in to your child's radio frequency. Because if your child is a 96.1 and you're 98.3, y'all are not in the same, it might be both rhythm and blues or whatever, but it's not the same station.
Right.
So T is tune in to that radio frequency that your child needs to hear. And then A is ask the question, are you planning on hurting yourself? Do you have a plan? What happened?
Right.
You see, those three things, you ask any teenager, be like, are you serious? Yes, I am serious. I want to know. And they look at you like, because teenagers.
Well, yeah, like you said, they're on different frequencies.
Then you stop, and then L is lean in and listen to what they're going to say to you, because it's okay to ask the question and then you go about your merry way versus ask the question and then lean in. When you lean in, you close up the space. Your heart is closer, your ears are closer, your body is vulnerable to receive, right? And then listen to what they're saying.
Right.
And then K is keep the communication lines open.
Right.
Because you can't just, it's like child dies, and then for the first 3 months, everybody sends you pies. And then 6 months down the road, then a year, it's been a year. Oh, let me call it. No, what happened?
In between that time, absolutely.
So K's keep the communication lines on, and I made that up. I came up with that because of the American Suicide Foundation, something I forget, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. They use this hashtag Talk Saves Lives because silence kills.
Yep.
And in the Black community, and I don't know who's predominantly listening to you, but in the Black community, we have this code of silence. Here's what I have to say to that. Bullshit. Straight up.
Yeah.
Because silence kills.
Yeah.
You're going to be quiet. You're going to think I should read your mind. I can't read your mind. But if you just say, help, I need help. Okay. Come out of that. Because when you were a toddler, Mom, come over here. I need you.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly you're young adult. Oh, I got this. No, you didn't get that.
Right.
So speak about it. You might not make the problem go away, but start talking about it though. Start.
Right.
You'll be very surprised.
You would be. Yeah. And sometimes people, like you said, Dr. Lulu, they have no idea what you're going through and you just can't expect them to. But lower that pride and that ego and the low confidence and go for it. Sometimes you just have to do it without thinking about it. Set yourself.
Pride and ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Pride and ignorance. Ooh.
Yep.
Not good. Because when you look at the African American community, and I'm looking at the time, I can see the time. I think we have some more time. When you look at the African American community, you look at people like, I forget his name, the black guy that killed himself. He was a Soul Train guy. I forget.
I have no idea.
Good girl. I was born in the 60s and I forgot. Don Cornelius.
Oh.
For those who are older school, they will know Don Cornelius was Soul Train was Don Cornelius. Okay? I could have, if you'd given me $500 million, I would never believe that he would kill himself.
So that's how he died? I didn't even realize. Wow. Okay.
Many people don't want to talk about it. But when I was researching for my second book, which is about teen suicide, this one, I had to read about, I said, I want to know Black people that died by suicide. Brrr, I'm like, what?
Wow.
And then I realized that African American children who are aged 5 through 12 are twice as likely to die by suicide than their white counterparts. I nearly died. I was like, who knew? It's a hush. Partially because of racism.
Oh, of course. That's number one.
No. I mean, well, for two reasons. Number one, but actually it's number one and number two.
Okay.
Number one, racism is the reason why we don't know about that statistic. But then racism is the reason it happens. So it's two-pronged. Because of institutional, systematic, and systemic. 3. One time when, and I can't find it now on my page, I wish I could, but once upon a time, there was a picture on my page where a white policeman, it was a cartoon, a little drawing, asked a little Black boy, and I don't know if you ever saw it. He asked him, say, what do you want to be when you grow up? You want to guess what the little boy said? He said, he looked up to him with concern. He said, alive.
Wow, I have seen that. I've seen that.
How powerful is that? That's all he wants. The average African-American man has what we call post-traumatic slave syndrome. They have this sense of shortened lifespan for good reason. They're either in jail by the 4th grade, they've already built your own cell with your name on it in America. 4th grade, they've already targeted you as a statistic that's going to go to jail.
Right.
Okay? And then there's so much trauma. You are educated. Black women are so educated. Like my wife likes to say, edumacated. We're not allowed to reach our highest potential. The Black woman, we'll go and get one Black woman in the whole team. And then the other day they were asking the gentleman from Facebook, how many Black people does he have in his establishment? He couldn't even say.
Wow.
And she asked me, said, do you know how many Black people use Facebook? He couldn't even say. Imagine if Black people boycotted Facebook. It will crash.
Imagine if we boycotted the economic system as a whole and we only bought into our own communities, which is slowly transitioning and happening.
I didn't even want to go there, but
I'm just being, hey,
it's true. And we talked about that yesterday. I forgot what we said. There was something we were talking about. And I was like, imagine if Black people boycotted it. I forgot what it was. And we're like, oh no.
We're like the top spenders. We may have the lowest salaries, but we are definitely the top spenders.
And I don't know. I know we had the blackouts and everything, but I don't know how effective that was. I never really saw the numbers that came out.
I haven't seen the numbers either. I'm curious about that.
And I don't know. But I am for blackout month.
Yeah.
Blackout quarter of the year.
People need to just understand that this has been going on for just far too long. And it's
for the fact that I have not heard of another police brutality. My wife said that there was one. She called the name of the person, and I don't know the person, but for the fact that I haven't heard that recently, I guess the word defund the police is powerful.
It is, but actually there were many more occurrences, not necessarily between police and civilians, but definitely civilian to civilian, brutality.
In this book, I talked about it. I said, you need to check yourself. I said, don't worry about policing the police, because we can see the police in uniform. Mm-hmm. What we can't see is the person that is dressed like you and I in mufti or regular.